really nervous
You
because I
thought
was
the
like,
crowd was gonna be dead.
I was like, everybody's gonna walk away by
Yeah.
the time I start playing.
Yeah.
But they were quite interested because they started with like Afro-Beats, so they love Afro-Beats in Bali. Like that's
Is
the
it?
one. They love it. Every club that you go to,
Yeah.
you will hear Afro-Beats.
That's-
They are obsessed with Afro-Beats, but also American. Like for me, all of our stories are very American based. There's nothing that's truly significantly ours.
South African.
Exactly.
Yes.
I mean, the
feel
other
like-
day on Josie Kings, we had a mermaid. We don't have mermaids in South Africa. There's so many times where I'll arrive at a club and a man is playing before me and they're like, oh, do you know how to use a setup?
Yeah.
You think I'm dumb? Like, what do you see me as? I'm a DJ. Of course I know how to use it. But it's just the way that the mentality is right now. So, yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Sounds Good Enough. Today I have a DJ who's knows how to play multiple genres, and the name is Ausi. Today with me. For the people who are watching, would like to know who is Ausi.
What's up, everybody? So my name is Aus Park. I'm a DJ. I want to say DJ, entrepreneur, actor, other things as well, right? But yeah, DJ, I do a lot of different genres. So I do Afro-tech, Afro-house, house music, and I'm a piano as well.
You said Aus Park. You see me? I said Ausi, and when you saying Aus, which one is it? Is it Ausi or is it Aus?
I have both, right? Yeah. So initially I started with Aus Park because it has more flair for me. But a lot doesn't really matter for me whether it's Ausi or Aus Park.
Because Ausi sounds South African. Ausi,
yeah, that's where it comes from. Well, yeah, I was technically it'd be like Aunt Park.
Aunt Park. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we have an Uncle Waffle and Aunt Park.
I mean, some people call me Auntie Pancakes.
Yeah. Uncle Pancakes.
It's a bit rude.
Yeah. I'm gonna step into something that I saw when I was like doing research on you, and which is acting, right? Like, why did you start like acting? Let's say, is it something that you'll ever consider to do again?
I don't necessarily stop acting. So I studied acting at AFTA, and then from that point onwards, so I've been acting probably since I was like 4 years old now.
Yeah.
23 now, so it's been 19 years. More like commercial work and so on and so forth, right? Then I studied it. And I kind of lost the flow for it in my point in time. And in South Africa, it's very like saturated. Doesn't seem like it, but it is quite saturated. It's very
like
tough to the industry, the acting industry.
Is it?
It's very tough to get into because what they tend to look for is more people who are influencers, right? So if you have the numbers,
is it?
And then you potentially have the look, they might just grab you.
So this kind of plays into, I had a theory this other time. I was just talking about blood and water, right? And I was just saying, I feel like a lot of shows are very repetitive here in South Africa. They're not very creative to some extent. I think they're like an extension of generation, you know, like how generation was. Like that was the formula, and they just
keep playing on that.
Mix it in a way, but it's still the same
thing.
And now that you're talking about like the number games and having people who are the actors who are actually influencers, it does kind of make sense. It's like it's more of bringing in people, you know, that people can go and watch, but not necessarily for the art of acting.
Nah, definitely not in South Africa. I think they've tried to take the American standard, if that makes sense. So because American actors are generally quite popular, but they don't realize that the popularity stems from years of having to like work on everything and like play those roles and like start from the beginning and then move up. In South Africa, we kind of just look at the influences, and it's something that's been working for like club culture, and so people take club culture and they put it into production culture, and now you're just like also that plus the stories are just not interesting enough for me, as you're saying. For me, it's a mixture of like generations, but also American. Like for me, all of our stories are very American based. There's nothing that's truly significantly ours.
South African.
Exactly.
Yes.
I mean, the other day on Josie Kings, we had a mermaid. We don't have mermaids in South Africa. Don't know have you never watched it? They had a mermaid.
No.
And the mermaid was basically a sangoma. And I was like, Okay, just use a sangoma then. Like, what's the
why are we
difference? Why are we adding a mermaid?
Yeah.
So that shit pisses me off. So yeah, I just decided just to take a step back for now and see if I'm like really interested in it. But yeah, I've been working on a production set for a little bit now, like a week now. And I've been assistant directing, and I've been enjoying that a lot more than enjoying like acting. So I don't think I'll ever go back into acting.
Yeah.
But if the opportunity presents itself, maybe
you might jump back into it. So it's like you want something that will be worthwhile.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely get you when it comes to that one, you know. But obviously, acting from a younger age, 4 years, and like now, what was the thing that actually attracted you to DJ, to say like, okay, that this is different now. This is something that I want to try.
So I started again while I was at AFTA.
Yeah.
We had to do like different mediums, right? So you would go into like presenting, all that stuff. So I got the opportunity to start radio presenting while I was at AFTA. And while I was there, the lecturer was telling me about how I've got a good presence and maybe I should just try radio. And I've always enjoyed radio, but I didn't really take it seriously.
Yeah.
And then he got me like an internship to work at another radio station.
Yeah.
And then at that radio station, they then gave me my own show every Sunday, like a morning, like a breakfast show type vibe. And then while I was there, so the mechanics that you use for radio presenting and hosting are very similar to those that you use when DJing, like just like the soundboards and all that stuff, right? So while I was there, my co-host was telling me that she started DJing and she was doing it simply because of the fact that she wanted another form of income. And like I said, I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm always looking for like multiple different sources of income and exactly, more money, more problems. But that's just the point. So from that point onwards, when she told me that, I was like, okay, I do enjoy learning things, and the mechanics are similar, not the same, but similar. And then I got told that my music selection on radio was also quite good. So I was like, okay, if I have the basics, then just give it a try. But it was nothing that I ever thought that I would get to this point. I thought it was for the time being.
It just build up to a point where
it was just something that I wanted to learn. And then as I started learning and I started enjoying it, then I went for my first gig, and what do they call it? Like the endorphins that came from that first gig just like boosted me, and I was like, yeah,
this is what I
want to do.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So speaking about gigs, right? How are they different? Like I've seen you went to Bali, you went to the other place again, Botswana as well. Are they different in terms of like the crowd, the atmosphere compared to here?
Very different. Yeah, I think when I was in Bali, so the Bali one wasn't planned. I was just in Bali and I just got the opportunity while I was there. But I didn't think, because I was speaking to somebody and I told them I was a DJ and they're like, oh, cool, I own a club, you can come through. And I was like, great, I'll come through. But I think with Bali, I didn't know how interested they were in African culture up until I was there.
You weren't,
Yeah, so I was very nervous for that gig. Like I was really nervous.
You thought the crowd was going to be dead.
Yeah, I was like, I was going to walk away by the time I start playing. But they were quite interested because they started with like Afro-Beats. So they love Afro-Beats in Bali. Like that's what, they love it. Every club that you go to, you will hear Afro-Beats. They are obsessed with Afro-Beats. So yeah, there was a DJ that was playing Afro-Beats before me, and then I played Amapiano, and they were still very intrigued. And I was like, oh, this is great. With Botswana, that one I was paying for more of like a private event. So crowd was good, but small. Even Johannesburg and Pretoria are very different. Like
just even within the same province.
Exactly. Very different. Pretoria crowd is a lot more like energetic. Johannesburg, it's almost as if it's more like, I feel like people think they're sitting in parliament when they're in the clubs here. Like nobody's dancing.
No one wants to dance,
Yeah, you just have the section baddies and they're just there like, nah, like that's not my vibe. Like,
so when you go to a club, what do you do? Do you become a section baddie or the dancer?
No. I'm here to play.
You're dancing.
No, I'm here to play. And I'm here to dance. Okay. I'm not gonna sit down like we're in parliament. Nah, I'm good.
Okay, so going through all those different gigs, is it the thing that inspired you to start with the park events, or is it something that?
I think what inspired me to start park events was the fact that the treatments of being a DJ. So you'll find that when you're an up and coming DJ, the treatment isn't as good. And for me personally, I think just on a human basis, you should treat everybody on the exact same level, regardless of where they are on their journey and so on and so forth. So it was also just for me to kind of have a platform, because at park events, I would record my sets and then upload them. Some didn't turn out that great, some did. So the ones that did turn out, I uploaded those that and so on. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying. So that was basically the one thing was, I wanted a platform, but also I wanted a platform for up and coming DJs to feel comfortable in their space.
Sure.
And we would also record their sets and we would send them to them. So what you want to do with that, that's totally up to you. But at least we're giving you the content to kind of push yourself as well. Because you don't get those opportunities as up and coming DJs. It's very tough. You're knocking on a lot of doors. A lot of them are closed. Some are open, and yeah.
Okay. No, I definitely understand it. So you want to, through all the things you've experienced, you want people to not go through those things. To have a platform where it's
safe,
and people can go and play and make money and just,
exactly.
at the end of the day. So like, what are some of the things that you've experienced that have kind of, left a bad taste in your mouth there?
So, I mean, for instance, I've been pulled off of a stage before. That was one thing that I really didn't enjoy. Pulled. Yeah, pulled. So, essentially what happened was I was playing and the person before me had taken 10 minutes of my time. And then one of the girls who owned the event kind of just kept like pressing me to like end my set. And I was like, listen, like I spoke to another person. Can you please? Oh, I sent my road manager to go speak to her, and she explained the situation, and she was just like, no, that's how it works. So with them, it was like a very big factor of like communication. Nobody was communicating, because I had spoken to somebody else to tell them that like this person took 10 minutes of my time. So can I have 10 more minutes? And they did not communicate that to the next person. So that ended up affecting my relationship with that person. Up until the point, she was the person who pulled me off stage was an old friend of mine's cousin. So they owned the event together. And I'm not even speaking to that girl anymore because of the treatment. And it went downhill from that point onwards. And stories were made up. She started saying that I lied, and it's her cousin, so she's going to protect her cousin before she protects me. So there was a big commotion about it. So yeah, that's the one thing that I've experienced. Another thing I've experienced is just like genuine neglect. So at the end of the day, if you invite an artist, it's your duty to take care of that artist. You can't expect somebody to get there and you're not on your phone, or you're just not attentive, or whatever the case is, to that person. So yeah, like I said, again, Pretoria and Johannesburg can be so different because the treatment that I get in Pretoria is
much nicer,
way better, like A-class, amazing. And then in Johannesburg, I think it's just because of like Johannesburg culture in general. Like most people can be rude. I've heard of so many people saying that they'll come from out of town and they arrive in Johannesburg and they're just like, you guys are rude. Like people are mean in Johannesburg. So I think,
Hey guys, I hope you're still enjoying the episode. If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, and do all the good YouTube stuff. But without wasting any time, let's get back to the video.
We're going to be playing a little game. It's a Would You Rather.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so the first question is, would you rather be able to wake up every morning, but only wake up to an alarm whispering your deepest dark secrets?
That's intense. Okay.
Or if every mirror you look yourself into, you look ugly, like every mirror. So you have like a distorted every single mirror.
Rather wake up to my deepest darkest secrets. Yeah, no, I know it's tough, but like, I don't know. Yeah, no, deepest darkest secrets.
Every day hammering 12
Rather, no.
That's crazy. Anybody?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so not be able to hear music ever again, or not be able to DJ ever again.
Wow. But they both go
Yeah. So it's like you can't hear music ever
I can't hear what I'm DJing in essence.
Yeah. You can DJ, but you can't hear what you're playing. You could be playing nonsense. Oh, you can't DJ ever again.
Damn, that one's hard. Wait, I have to think. I can see this. You not be able to DJ.
So you would rather just
Yeah,
be
because
able
what's
to
the
hear.
point? I'd rather be able to hear my music and that's fine, but not be able to DJ ever again.
Never again, yeah. So you
Because
can't touch any.
yeah, like no, not be able to DJ.
Okay. The last one. Would you rather be itchy forever or sticky forever?
Itchy forever. No,
Itchy
wait.
forever.
Itchy forever.
Itchy
I
forever.
can't do stickiness. I wash my hands like every 5 minutes. I can't do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Back to the
Back
questions.
to business.
Yeah. It's okay. Obviously you've been in the game for how long now?
DJing a year and a half.
Year and a half.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it still a space that more women can get into? And if so, like how can other women get into that space?
Definitely is a space where a lot of women can get into it.
Yeah.
I would suggest that more women take the approach of not doing amapiano. Simply just because of the fact that it's very saturated. And this not from like a point of view of like wanting to be like jealous and being like, that's my space. Nah, none of that. Because even I want to learn how to DJ other genres. It's just way too like there's 1,000 female DJs that are doing amapiano right now. If you want to be different, do something else or find something that's different about you to present to the public. Whether we have Uncle Waffles and Durban and Coco are technically on the same playing field right now.
That's true.
If you have to like look at them.
Yeah.
But Uncle Waffles came in with the fact that she dances and she came up with an experience.
Yeah.
So Uncle Waffles is selling an experience. She's not selling her DJing.
True.
Durban Coco is selling her DJing.
Yeah.
So because of the
bring
two,
something.
Bring something forward that is different about you. Either you mixing hip hop with amapiano or you're something like that. But I also wouldn't tell women to take the approach of going skimpy, and I mean like in dress wear, skimpy, like dress wear, right? Simply because of the fact that I've had this before, where last year I thought that wearing a short skirt or a tight top was going to get me gigs. And all it does is just make you look like a sexual object. That's all it does. Like, there are so many female, I don't want to name names, but there's so many female DJs right now that are getting hired simply because of their bodies. They can't mix for shit. I've heard them. They cannot mix for shit. But the club is forgiving it because of the fact that they have fat ass. They're pretty, they have a fat ass. And so when they're walking across the stage or when they're walking around the club, that's the attraction. But you go into a club to hear a 1 hour set where every single song is not mixed well. And for me, that ruins the experience of even going out in the first place, you know?
But some would say that's the point, though, to look, you're a performer, to be on stage.
Naturally, I think that is the appeal, but I feel like there's a way that you can do both at the same time, you know? If you're going to get into the game simply because of the fact that for fame, then don't get through it all. Don't. There's absolutely no point. It's the same thing as going into acting or going into racing or anything. If you're going to go there to do it for fame and not out of passion, then don't do it. Because there's going to be a point in time where it's going to get tough. These clubs are in a year's time, they're going to be like, actually, you know what? We're noticing that we're losing a lot of clientele because of the fact that you're pretty, but you can't mix. You can't play. What's the point? You know? So now, those very same people who are famous right now are not going to be famous in a year's time because
the work speaks for itself at the end of the day.
Yeah. So I think if there's a piece of advice I could give, do a different genre or bring something that's different to the table, and don't do it for fame.
Okay.
Or for your body.
Okay. So clearly you have a different view when it comes to this whole DJing thing. What would you say is your ultimate goal? Like, what do you want to achieve with all of this? Like with your park event, DJing, just you yourself as well.
I think it's very large, but my ultimate goal in DJing specifically, I think, would be Tomorrowland. That for me is where I see myself playing.
Okay.
But not so much that like I'm sold to America, if that makes sense. Because they have a lot of DJs like Black Coffee. He's known as Ibiza's biggest like artist, right? And Uncle Waffles is also going through a point in time where she's solely international and she's not national anymore. I would still like to bring that back to South Africa and bring that back home. But also I would love a space, or I'd love to create a space for women specifically in the industry where we're no longer seen as objects in this space, like at all. In every industry, but I can't do every industry. I can only do the industry that I'm currently in. So essentially just making way for a world where women can just do what they want to do and not do it out of need or in relation to their bodies or being seen as whatever. There's so many times where I'll arrive at a club and a man is playing before me and they're like, "Oh, do you know how to use a setup?" You think I'm dumb? Like, what do you see me as? I'm a DJ. Of course I know how to use it, but it's just the way that the mentality is right now. So yeah.
Also, I mean, given that, as you say, because some DJs can't play and they just play, so it also plays into that.
Yeah,
people
definitely.
think that we've seen you guys just,
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, Ausi or Ausi Park, thanks for coming. But before you leave, I just want you to just impart some wisdom to the people that are watching today. Something that.
Okay, if you're gonna do something, first thing, if you're gonna do something and you're scared about it, do it scared rather than not do it at all. That's the first thing I'd like to say.
Yeah.
And the second thing I'd like to say is if how do I word this? Don't fear what people say, because at the end of the day, it's just words. And I mean that in like everything. Don't just take in somebody calls you beautiful, be like, "Yeah, cool, thank you," but don't be so hell bent on what other people are saying about you up to the point where you are dependent on what other people say.
Validation.
Depend on that validation.
Yeah.
Depend on yourself because you're the only person who's going to root for you 24/7. So the minute that somebody says to you, "Oh no, you're ugly," you're going to take that in. So don't take anything in. Accept it and read it and all of that, but throw it to the side.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself. When you look in the mirror, you see yourself and you see who you are and you see what you want and you see what you need. Believe in that. You're the only person who's ever going to root for you 24/7, 365. The more you allow other people to tell you things, you're going to start rooting for other people and so on and so forth. I think one thing that I did a lot was I was scared of what people were going to say because I jumped from so many different things. I've got a brand. I'm a DJ now. If I'm acting, and my brain was like, "Oh, people are gonna think that I have too many trades and I'm not mastering any of them." But fuck what people think. If I want to do it, just do it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You've heard it today, guys. Just be you and don't rely so much on validation from other people. But again, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and do all the good YouTube stuff without wasting any time. See you in the next episode.
Bye.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.